Greetings and peace unto you, beloved. Namaskar, namaste, alafia, and salam alaikum, hotep, all of that good stuff, all of those good vibes of greeting goodness. Welcome once again to our Lenten observance. We have come to the 29th day of Lent. Let's eliminate negative thinking. And on this 29th day, we will be reflecting on the idea of patience. Patience. Our biblical passage for consideration is Hebrews chapter 11, starting at verse 17, into Hebrews chapter 12. And we're going to end at verse 6. So Hebrews 11, 17 through Hebrews 12, verse 6. So some thoughts to ponder as we read through the biblical passage and Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore. One thing to hold in the forefront of your mind, beloved, is to define patience according to the text. Secondly, what is the first requisite in developing patience? Third, what happens if we are self-centered and live in a material world? And finally, what does patience give us? I am patient, for my faith in God assures me that all things in my life are working together for my good. Patience, 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 patience. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 17 reads thusly: By faith Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and the one who had received the promises was offering up his only son. It was he to whom it was said, "Through Isaac your descendants shall be named." He considered that God is able to raise people even from the dead, from which he also received him back as a type. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau, even regarding things to come. By faith, Jacob, as he was dying, blessed each of the sons of Joseph and worshipped, leaning on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he was dying, made mention of the exodus of the sons of Israel and gave orders concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden for 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child, and they were not afraid of the king's edict. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to endure ill treatment with the people of God than to enjoy the temporary pleasures of sin, considering the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking to the reward. By faith, he left Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he persevered as though seeing him who is unseen. By faith, he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of the blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch them. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea as through dry land, and the Egyptians, when they attempted it, were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after the Israelites had marched around them for 7 days. By faith, the prostitute Rahab did not perish along with those who were disobedient after she had welcomed the spies in peace. And what more shall I say? For time will fail me if I tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, and David and Samuel, and the prophets, who, by faith, conquered kingdoms, performed acts of righteousness, obtained promises, shut the mouths of lions, quenched the power of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, from weakness were made strong, became mighty in war, put foreign armies to flight. Women received back their dead by resurrection, and others were tortured, not accepting their release so that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others experienced mocking and flogging, and further chains and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn in two, they were tempted, they were put to death with the sword. They went about in sheepskins, in goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, people of whom the world was not worthy, wandering in deserts, on mountains, and sheltering in caves and holes in the ground. And all these, having gained approval through their faith, did not receive what was promised, because God had provided something better for us, so that apart from us, they would not be made perfect. Therefore, since we also have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let's rid ourselves of every obstacle and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let's run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking only at Jesus, the originator and perfecter of the faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. You have not yet resisted to the point of shedding blood in your striving against sin. And you have forgotten the exhortation which is addressed to you as sons. My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor faint when you are punished by him. For whom the Lord loves, he disciplines, and he punishes every son whom he accepts. Thus ends the reading. We return now to Keep a True Lent, our metaphysical devotional for the 29th day of Lent. We are discussing patience this Monday. It's very interesting that Charles Fillmore has chosen this idea of patience to be juxtaposed with such a lengthy discourse on the topic of faith, as though the two go hand in hand. Let's see what his thoughts are. Patience is a state of mind that beholds the world from the harmony of the Christ mind, a freedom from personal thinking. It is an attitude of mind characterized by poise, calmness, and a quiet, restful trust, especially in the face of trying conditions. It has its foundation in love. Great peace have they that love thy law, and they have no occasion of stumbling. The first requisite in the, wait a minute, let me go back. Okay, so this scripture here, great peace have they that love thy law, and they have no occasion of stumbling. It is sometimes read, great peace have they who love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. And if you do a biblical dive into the meaning of offense, it literally means to be trapped. When something offends you, it traps you. And so you think about a trap, for example, out in the woods, a booby trap. It is something that could cause you to stumble. So I find both translations, um, very interesting. It shows more and more why it can help our studies a lot to have multiple translations. Okay. The first requisite in the development of patience is spiritual understanding. The larger our vision of life, the more freedom we feel. And we are spared the friction and frettings that come to those who are centered in personality. Whether one is patient or not depends on his view of life. If he is selfish and self-centered and lives in a material world, bound by his own interests, he lacks the qualities that go to make up patience. We may take the gift of patience and make use of it. We may receive it by faith and then work it out in every department of our being by daily practice of truth. Patience gives self-control. We unfold the capacity to direct our behavior in right ways, a result of spirituality. I realize that I am feeding my consciousness on divine patience. Dr. Coleman just on the Monday class said to feed your subconscious. And here's Charles Fillmore saying feed your consciousness. Synchronicity. Once again, Dr. Coleman talked about synchronicity in chronos, in time, at the culmination of time. When my thoughts are in harmony with divine law, they develop my body into God's beautiful, indestructible temple. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. I affirm the serene, calm, trustful spirit now accomplishes all the desires of my heart. Ooh, I rest in peaceableness. Listen, I don't know, Charles Fillmore. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that prescription, that treatment that you have given me. I don't, listen, y'all. You see it, don't you? You see what that says? R.I.P. right there. Hold on. I need to see this. This is another thing. You can say it as you see it on the screen. No, no biggie. We're not dogmatic in New Thought, in mysticism. Uh, so you can say what you see exactly on the screen. Personally, I think I want to reword this and rework this and rephrase it. I mean, you do want to rest peacefully, but the phraseology there, the connotation, I just can't get with it. So let me see how else would I want to say about this. Okay, here we go. The serene, calm, trustful spirit now accomplishes all the desires of my heart. I peacefully, peace. Listen, I peacefully enter into rest. I peacefully enter into rest. Okay, let's take that. The serene, calm, trustful spirit now accomplishes all the desires of my heart. I peacefully enter into rest. The serene, calm, trustful spirit now accomplishes all the desires of my heart. I peacefully enter into rest. I peacefully enter into a restful state, for the serene, calm, trustful spirit now accomplishes all the desires of my heart. See, if I have given it over to God, I have no reason to be outside of my peace. I have no reason to be anxious. I have no reason to be outside of my serenity and my calmness. I believe it's Hebrews, or it could be James, somewhere in the Bible. It might be James, somewhere in the Bible. It says, labor to enter into rest. And what is the labor? The labor is surrendering. We just got to let go. That's the hard part right there. That's the labor. Surrendering out of the materiality. The, I always want to call him Paul Charles. What did he say up here? He said, as long as we're selfish and self-centered and living, I would say dwelling, because we have to live in a material world, dwelling in the material world with carnal consciousness, we are bound by this. But when we release and let go and surrender those things up to spirit, now we can peacefully enter into a restful state and abide in divine patience. Patience, beloved. Thus ends our reflections. Thank you so much for joining. We will meet back here tomorrow. Until we meet again, peacefully go your way, knowing this truth that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Thank you, God, in us, through us, as us, around us, through the Christ within, and so it is. Bye for now.